eManifest. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough on how to create an ACI eManifest for entry into Canada. When you first go to our website, you'll see the login page. This is where you enter your email and your password. The first thing you'll see when you get in is the latest status updates for any shipments that have been previously submitted. If it's the first time you're logging in, there'll be nothing here. The first part to start at is to create a new trip to Canada. Now, the trip details the vehicle information, the trailer information, and will also list what shipments are associated to that trip. So first things first, we enter a trip number. Now, trip number can be any number. It cannot be the PARS number. It has to be something different, but it does start with your carrier code. If you ever have any questions about any of the fields, you can always just hover your mouse over the name of the field and it will give you details about that particular field. So we're going to call this one trip, we're going to name it after the date that we're going to be using. So this is 2015-07-15. You can literally name it anything that you want, but we're going to go with that. Next we'll go to the ETA for our trip, which is going to be tomorrow at the time of this filming, so July 15th, and we're going to set the time at noon Eastern time. Now we select the port we're going to arrive at, and we're going to arrive at Sarnia. Now you can scroll through the list and select Sarnia, or you can either start typing Sarnia, or you can start typing the port code 440 Sarnia to select it. Now this one is not an empty load. If you were to do an empty load, that is a load with no shipments, you would click on this indicator here, but we are going to have a shipment on this load. So next thing is to go to the truck tab, and this is where we enter the license plate for the truck that we're doing. Again, for the province, you can scroll through the list, or you can just start typing. Now if we want, we can save this as a template, which means that we won't have to type it in next time we want to use it. And you can see that it's been saved when you see the saved icon there. Next we move to the equipment tab, and this is where we add any trailers that are on this vehicle. If it's a cube van or a pickup truck or something that doesn't have a trailer, you can skip this tab entirely. We're going to use the equipment template for one that I've already created, just to show you how the templates work. And you can either start typing in parts of the license plate, or you can select it from the list. So we're going to use this one here. Now for the equipment, we have to select at the bottom Create Equipment, and that will add that equipment to this list up here. If you don't click Create Equipment, it won't save. The reason behind that is because we could potentially have multiple trailers on this one truck. So once that's done, we're going to move to the next tab, and that's the Shipments tab. So right now, it shows shipments on this trip. There are no shipments on this trip because we haven't created or added any shipments. Below we have shipments that have been previously entered in the system that are available to be added to this trip. To do that, we would click on the plus sign, and then we would add it to where the trip is loaded, either the truck or the trailer, usually the trailer. In this case, we're going to create a whole new shipment. So we click on create a new shipment, or create a shipment, sorry, and we're going to go to trailer. And this brings up the shipment to Canada form below the trip to Canada form. This indicates that this shipment to Canada form is associated to this trip to Canada form and creates one whole trip. So here we see the cargo control number. This is also known as the PARS number. So we're going to enter in our PARS number here. Very important to enter the same number that you're going to send to your broker. If the number includes PARS, put in the PARS as well. Again, we select our ETA of 15 and noon, and our port crossing of 440 Sarnia. Our city of load for this is going to be Buffalo. And for any of the cities, as you start typing, you'll see it'll come up with a list of names that you can just select, and you don't have to enter the state or anything. City of load is where you're loading the goods in the US. City of acceptance is the city where you accepted the goods in the US, if different than the city of load. So if it's the same as the city of load, you don't have to enter anything in acceptance. And this will be indicated by the optional here up on the little pop-up. Next we'll move to the parties tab. So there's two parties that we need to enter. One is a shipper and one is a consignee. So shipper is where it's coming from, consignee is where it's going. So we're going to enter the shipment information. We're going to call it John's Hardware, and we're going to give that an address of 1234 Main Street in Buffalo. Now for whatever reason you can't find the city that you're looking for and you want to type it in manually, we type in the city, we put a comma, then a space, and then the capital short form abbreviation for the state or province, so NY in this case. And we move down, we put in our zip code, which I just made up. Telephone is optional, address line 2 is optional, so that's all we need to enter for that. If we want to reuse this shipper for future shipments, we can save this shipper to template, and that way we can use the party template instead of entering everything in. So now I'm done the shipper, I'm going to save that party. It's going to go up here in this row, and it's going to bring me up the party type consignee form. For this one, I'm going to pick up a consignee that I've already entered in the system. Scroll through, look for one that's in Ottawa, so Tom's Hardware. I'm going to select that one, and then save to party. So once you have the templates entered in your system for parties that you use frequently, it becomes quite quick to enter these parties and other information that's reused frequently. So those are the only 2 party types that we must have. If for whatever reason you're delivering to a different address than what the consignee is, you would add a delivery address here. And the other type of party you would have would be a notified party, but that's very infrequently used, so I won't get into that. Next, we'll go to the commodities tab. This is where we detail the commodities on the shipment. Very brief form. They don't want part numbers or anything like that. They just want to know briefly what it is that you're carrying in terms that they can understand. So we're going to say nails and screws, and we're going to say 400 boxes, and we're going to have a weight of 10,000 pounds. And those are the only fields that are mandatory. If for whatever reason you're carrying hazardous goods, you'd select this tab for hazardous goods, enter UN dangerous good code, description, contact name, and phone number. This is not dangerous goods, so we don't enter that. Save commodity. So now we've entered all the information that we need to enter for the shipment. We're going to do a preview submission. This shows us all the details of the shipment before we submit it, so we can review it and make sure everything is what we need it to be. We're going to select notification, and this will have the system automatically send any status updates to you regarding the shipment. Most importantly, it will let you know whether the PARS entry from the broker is on file or not on file. So I'm going to put in an SMS number. We're just going to put in an eManifest phone number. And then it's going to default check under the notification tab. So this is all we're going to do for the shipment. You can put in an email as well. So we'll put in info@emanifest.com, and it will send you status update emails if you check this box. Don't worry about the other 3 boxes for the shipment. We'll show you those ones on the trip notification. So we're going to save settings. And now that everything's good, we're going to submit this shipment to CBSA. Once it goes submitted here, you'll see there's a 1 in the submitted column over here, and this will go submitted. Next step though is we have to go back to trip to submit the trip, which is done by clicking on this back to trip button here. And here, since we've already entered all the information on the trip, we can do a preview submission for the trip, which will show us all of the tractor information, equipment information, and any shipments and cargo control numbers that are associated to this trip. And again, we see the notification button. We click on that. And if we want to receive status updates for the trip, which will essentially just be accepted, rejected, or when you arrive to get a reported status. More importantly for the trip though is we want to get what's called the lead sheet, which is the barcoded sheet that we create for you that you will give to the border agent when you arrive at the border. So again, I put in my email address. In your case, you put in your email address. And we have 4 options here. The first one is the notification, which is any status updates. If you want to get that, you click that. Most importantly is the barcode one here, which is called lead sheet, which will email you a PDF of the lead sheet that you need to print to bring to your broker. That you need to print to bring to the border when you cross. So I'm going to check that. And the last 2 columns are called trip and shipment. And if you want a PDF copy of the trip and shipment emailed to you for your records, you click on that, but you don't need to bring that to the border. If for whatever reason you want to just fax the lead sheet to you, you can also click on fax, put in your fax number, and then click on the lead sheet form, and this will send a fax to you, a fax copy of the lead sheet to you. And we save settings. Now if everything's good, we're going to do a submit to CBSA, and this will change the status submitted. And again, we'll see 2 submitted now in the columns. So CBSA takes about 5 minutes to process these documents, and once they're processed, they'll move from the accepted list, from the submitted shipments list to either the accepted or the entry on file list, but you'll see the numbers will change as they move on. If for whatever reason there's a problem with it, it'll move to the rejected list. So right now we're in the submitted documents list. I'm going to show you how you can get the lead sheet without having to wait for it to be emailed to you or at any time. So we're going to go find the trip, whether it's in the submitted list, the accepted list, or we can do a search down below from the list of all trips and shipments to Canada. When you select that, it brings up the details of the trip that we saw when we submitted. Up in the top right corner is a gray button. We're going to click on that, and you see an option to view PDF with shipments, or view lead sheet. View lead sheet is what we want to print to give to your driver. Click on that. Brings up a PDF form with the barcode, and you can either save or print this and send it to your driver. Go back. So once everything goes accepted and your entry on file, you should be ready to proceed to the border. If you have any questions with regards to this, feel free to give us a call at our support, 888-993-9626. Thanks again for choosing eManifest, and have a good day.